Hello, good evening and welcome. I'm probably early. Probably nobody here. Well, what do you know? Zippity doo da. Hello, hello. Hello. Mike's working then. Motherfucker. Greetings, Mick. Good to see you. What have they been up to today? Hello from Wales Valleys. You alright, laddie? Well, I don't know whether either of you two are getting it, but we're getting hit by thunder and lightning storms here. So if you see me disappear in a blue flash, I'll be on next week. In bandages? Oh, cool. Which spot on you done, Mick? I've actually been doing a couple of cars for Diecast Channel while I'm deciding what I'm doing next with Railway Channel. I've got a few on the bench. Yeah, which spot on you doing, Mick? I saw you did the Bentley. That looked good. That E-type Jag I give you cleaned up as well. Cleaned up nice as well. Oh, cool. Yeah, I fancy, at the moment, I fancy doing, sorry, no, I'm way off with that. What were I on about? The E-type Jag. Yeah, I didn't fancy that because it were a bigger scale than I normally do. Yeah, it's a nice model. It was just a bigger scale than I normally do. Having said that, the two I'm doing now's larger than I normally do, but hey ho. I don't know whether I'll get it done in time, but I got some wheels for the cops and robbers build, and I'm going so far out of the ballpark, people won't know what I'm doing. It ain't a Jag. It ain't a Jag. Oh, I'm starting getting warm. I've got me heating on to dry my uniform for tomorrow. Marvellous. I'm doing one day, then I'm off for 4, and in Saturday, Sunday. Thanks for that. It's as humid as an Arab's underpants, Mick. Oh my God, that's probably... It's like at work, this. The amount of times I go... The amount of times at work I go, oh my God, that come out into the open. Thunder's getting closer. We're having a thunder and lightning and rainstorm, Mick. We normally have it every spring about this time. It's probably unsettled solar activity. Everybody's doing the Northern Lights. I haven't seen any of it. Only lights I've seen are the ones on my camera. And the one over my bed. I haven't seen any other lights. I was going to go out to try and photograph them last night, but in the end I went, I can't be arsed. Well, quite the reverse here, Mick. It was nice most of the day, then we got a thunderstorm started about an hour and a half ago, and it's not stopped since. But it is normal for this time of year. Anybody said that it's out different, the bullshitter. As long as I can remember, you've never judged summer starting until you've had a thunder and lightning storm. Oh, sorry, that were Valley's not, Mick. Yeah, we've got plenty of rain at the moment, Mick. Depending on how bad it is, I might need me waders to go to work tomorrow. It's not too bad here, though. I'm in hills. So it all goes down road. It's somebody else's problem. Yeah, all our drains are blocked. But it all heads downhill, so it's somebody else's worry. Yeah, pretty much the same here, Mick. Although, to be honest, I used to... Okay, now. To be fair, every year, I used to go on a biker's weekend to Lake District. And every single year when we went up, it poured down on us going. We ended up drying out for hours after. You'd be like that Saturday, they'd be, are you coming out on the ride? I'm not even dried out from Friday. So I used to do a Sunday morning ride and then head back Sunday afternoon. They went on a couple of rides, but I thought I've had enough of this getting wet through. I stayed at base camp and had a laugh with young uns. We used to have one lad who were about in his 20s, he were absolutely crackers. Weren't a full deck upstairs. And he used to have an absolute hoot with him. He were a funny lad. So, what's everybody else done? Like I say, I've done a custom this week. Because I have the two channels, I've done a bit for my diecast channel this week. So I've done a live instead because I'm off. And I'll do some at the beginning of the week and post it. I've got a few things on the bench and a few easy projects to do. I've got an under £10 eBay logo. I can do a service on it, me. I love the little 040s. And it's not a brilliant livery, but I like showing people that the hobby doesn't have to be expensive. The local were actually under £10. And it weren't running at first when I got it, but I didn't have to strip it down. I just give it a few nudges of encouragement. Then it started up and ran. And it's not a bad runner now. It's had a little bit of lube. But I'm going to strip it and clean it and it'll run even better again. So it'll be like a new one by the time I've finished. All right, Welshie, how we doing? Good to have you on board. I'm not sure if it's first time I've seen you, but good to have you aboard. Make a comment. I don't know whether Ian will come in under his own name, but Martin's told me Ian will be in on his, I think that's his name. He'll be on his way in tonight. So it'll be nice to see him. I know he contributes a lot with chat and everything to Martin's channel. So apparently nice old gent. Nice old gent. Probably not far off my age. Hi Nathan, good to have you around again. Yeah, not had a bad week. Been a bit of an hard week at work one way or another. I'm getting too old now. I think I should retire with ill health. But I'm keeping going as long as I can. I don't want to be bumming around on state for too long. Although the way I feel for some days, I'll probably hang my feet up, probably hang my shoes up before I, what do you call it, reach pension. There's a cheerful thought. Hey, and I got some decals. Well, not decals, the stickers the other day off eBay. And I thought I'll give them a try. And I got them, they're not decals, they're clay stickers. And I thought, oh, they're crap. And I actually, where are we? I actually put one on. And to be fair for them, for cheap decals, well, cheap stickers, you have a bit of a line around it. But to be fair, if you sprayed satin or matte varnish over that, you wouldn't notice. Because they're quite thin, they're not actually that bad. I've had worse. And they're easier to apply than Fox transfers. Because Fox are the fantastic transfers, Fox. But they're very thin, and especially the railway, the British Railway Lions. The lion's tail is just a thin part by itself, and it crinkles over, which isn't a good design, really. Hiya, Raymond. You all right? Yeah, I'm very worried now. We all, you know, Raymond. I'm very worried before I'll buy any new logo. The thing is, and I don't know Elgin. I suppose Elgin's the same as others. They're all made in China. Maybe wrong, but I've not looked. I do have an Elgin myself. I have a rail car. Well, the DMU baggage car. And I bought that because it was of special interest to me because I've actually ridden in one. But a lot of the new stuff, it's not the quality people make it out to be. Fair enough, the old Hornby it wasn't the best detail, and like running gear and everything wasn't the most detailed, and there was some errors in it. But the difference was it were engineered well, and it were made to be serviced and used and abused by kids. You give kids these new models, and if they do half of the things they did with the old Hornby stuff, there'd be a pile of parts in the corner. Well, I'll always maintain it. They've got the detail and they look beautiful, yeah. And they're a good runner when you get them, the new stuff. But they're not built to last. They're not a quality item. And I'll always maintain it. Yeah, you can make something run beautiful, but what they used to call it, Philips were the first to do it with light bulbs. It's built-in redundancy. The longer you keep that locomotive running, the less chance they have of selling you another one. So they made to be run for so long, then you can't find spares for them. And they're nigh on impossible to work on from the layman's point of view. From your average handy person's point of view, they're very difficult to work on. So your first thing will be, screw that shit, or go and buy another. So there's where we're at. Yeah, I think I've got old what used to be Pico. Yeah, cracking stuff. It was simple electronics, simple engineering. Well made, well engineered. Made to run well, made to last. And it might not have been the most detailed, but you got a quality item. But you go on some places and on like Facebook or YouTube, etc., and point that out, and they're, oh, no, they're not, no, they're not. Well, yeah, they are. You're telling me you're not watching the videos of brand new Hornby locos being taken out of the box, broken, or breaking down after 5 minutes, or same with your Cura scale, same with others. I'm sorry, that ain't quality. That's a company that has very little quality control and very little R&D. I'll guarantee it. They'll just get it, yeah, that's fine, and put it out to you. I don't think there's any longevity of testing behind a model before they put it out to you. Yeah, I've got loads to get through, Welch. I've got absolutely loads to get through. To the point now I've stopped. I'm trying my best to weed myself off buying on eBay. because I've got a stockpile to last me for years for my channel. But you know what you do, you pop on eBay and you go, oh, that's all right, that'll make a nice video. Then the 30 videos you had planned before get backdated. Like I've got one I'm doing next. I've got a little 040. I'll do an in-depth service on that. And like what you can get for a tenner. I like pointing newbies in right way, but you know, these little 040s, you think, and some deals, you look at them and it's a tenner and stuff, and you think, why did nobody else outbid me? Or why didn't even a trader beat me to that? Because it's 20 quid for a trader all day long. For a tenner, I don't get it. Maybe the traders have enough 040s. I don't know. Yeah, you see some of them, the prices they ask on eBay, and I think they have to be the biggest morons in society. Because they put something up for 500 quid, and about 10 other people are selling the same item, and they've got it listed at 25 quid starting bid, or whatever, 50 quid. They put a reserve on it and put a low starting bid. And that's what you do. That's what bidding's all about, and auctioning. Putting idiotic prices up. Like people say, oh, they're 500 quid on eBay. Well, keep watching it and see if he sells it. He won't sell it. Like there's idiots in die-cast community as well. I do die-cast cars, and Mick'll know himself. Like the last 60 quid for a £5 car. And they're like, oh, it's a 1960s Corgi. Yeah, but it's a 1960s Corgi that there were loads of them made. There's still loads of them in circulation, and yours has no paint. It's 5 quid. Yeah, Roku are some nice stuff as well. You do, Mick, and I don't get it. Why? How are them people not looking what other people are selling for on eBay? You can even put your item on before you sell it, and you can do a search and see what other people have sold the same item for. I don't get them. They're idiots. And then they go, well, it's not selling. Well, fucking amazing. If you've got £500 on a like 60 quid train set, do you wonder why? Or like I say, 60 quid on a £5 casting. Yeah, it's a bit tricky with you, Mick. That's why I send you stuff over every so often. Like it's not as big an hobby over there as it is in the UK. Mick lives in Ireland, for those that don't know. And in general, hobbies aren't as big in Ireland as they are over here. You're welcome, Mick. No, I don't think it is. Like you say, you had a field day when we met up and went Coventry. Hey, and Coventry were small, and if you'd come up and gone to Stafford, that'd have blown your mind. Stafford's enormous. Like Stafford Toy and Train Fair. That's about 3 big halls. Hi, Griffey. Yeah, that's where PJ was calling me a bar steward for making him spend money. Hi, Raymond. Oh, sorry, yeah. Yeah, some. I went to a toy fair and I got, the Hornby Class 47 Pullman. It has a Greek name on it from Greek mythology, Dionysus or whatever. I got that one mint for about 30 quid. It's an X set loco because I think it were only released in a set. But you go in eBay, people want 60 quid for that one. In same condition. So did Hornby, that's why most of Hornby's diesels now are the ex-Lima range. Upgraded, but they're the ex-Lima models. They've been given new running gear and stuff. Mammoth were a nice model. I actually did one. I've not got a video with that. Well, I have a video with it, but I converted it to DCC. And it were quite tricky because it's an old one. So you had to use nylon screws to stop the electric shorting out. The chip, you had to use nylon shoes and put new running gear wheels on so it isolated up. And Jesus Christ, that was close. But yeah, the only fault I had with that one is that they put the 2 bands on all the way around for the green line when it were in green. I actually, on mine, one I did the build actually where I scraped all the lines off the side and sanded it, filled it, sanded it. Yeah, it's true, it's true. If I ever got the money, and I didn't have anything else to buy, I'd love the big boy, the Riverossi big boy. The Lima Western were a beautiful model, even with its old Lima motor. And the warship, they were good old models. I've got one I bought. Somebody had melted the body with a soldering iron. They'd snapped the steps off on the cab. So I got the Hornby steps that clip onto the chassis, and I'm going to cut them down and mount them to the Lima body and do all the repairs. But it should be nice once it's done. But I have looked at getting another Western body. I nearly got the Desert Sand one. Yeah, some nice stuff. Yeah, I do. I do American N as well, diesel. It's going to be one of my layouts. I'm gradually doing it. I've said before on here, I bought part of a roundhouse that I'm going to build up, and it was damaged, and it had part of the roof missing. So I'm going to be doing more painting on it. So there'll be an update in a bit for me American Engage. But I do have a little 06 horse steamer. It's a continental one, but it'll pass for American. Yeah, I like the desert sand with the old style BR Lion. It did look nice, that. Oh God, night worse than having moved, fella. Thing is, though, you can start from fresh. You can start from fresh and build what you fancy. It's like a new chapter. Yeah, it is. It's an art. I'd hate to move. I think by my way of thinking, they're gonna take me out of this place feet first and in a bag. Yeah, that lion was a beautiful piece of history. I did like that. It's a shame they privatised it completely. What I don't get, and I've never got, they got rid of British Railways and it's all privatised, all the trains and everything. Yet I've not got any tickets here from when I've travelled. But you get a ticket and it's still got the old British Railways arrows, the there and back arrows on the yellow and orange ticket. What's that about? Sounds cool. Sounds cool. Good project. Yeah, it was a nice era. I think to a degree, the biggest percent, the biggest percent in liveries now look like they were designed by a committee where everybody got a say in what colour goes on it. They couldn't decide on one idea, so everybody got a bit in it. Yeah, the old BR liveries were class. Even the BR blue compared to today, it was just classy. Yeah, it's well, mine. I want what I want to do on my layout, the big one I'm building, double O. I may have to compromise, and I wanted to build an actual place, but I've got 15 foot, and it weren't a huge place I'm building, but I'm gonna need double that length to do what I want on it, so I can't build out into the street, so there's going to have to be compromises somewhere now. My idea is to still use echoes of what I wanted in the layout, the buildings, but minimalise the track a bit and have slightly different ideas than what were there. And I can still do the buildings I wanted and the scenery I wanted and stuff, bridges and abutments and like walls and factory yards and the signal box. I can all fit all that in. I can fit in a sidings. I can, but I'll have, for what I want to do, I think I'll have to rationalise it down from 4 tracks down to 2 because I can't turn it round in the space I want without coming further into the room and like doing a zip, zip, and zip, like to give me the length. So I think it's going to be compromised and cut down, and I'll get echoes about what I want, but I don't think I'm going to build fully what I wanted to. Yeah, I like working in flexi. It gives more prototypical curves on the actual scenic area. Then backstage you can have your set track and get them turning round. But I've only got a 4-foot board, and without first radius, which is nigh on useless for a lot of locals, you have to go up to 4th radius, which only gives you 3 tracks. So if you want 4 tracks, you have to do your 4th in flexi. For what I want to do, it's going to bring it out further into the room than what I want to. Yeah, even minimising straights graphics. I'd need 30 foot even if I minimised them. I'd need double what I have. I'll say, I don't know. I might do a bit of messing about with track, but it's a bit much for where it is. I could use first radius on the inner track because most of what run on the 2 inner tracks were DMUs, but and 08 and wagons, but you did get a Scotch Express that come out on the slow line and crossed over to the Bolton line. Oh, the joys of flexi valleys. It's good fun. Yeah, it is. It's nice on curves. It always looks better on curves on a model railway. Even if it's only slight curves, it looks better. That's a decent sized layout, valleys. Yeah, I've not a clue how many metres I'll need. It'll be a few. I've got some from my old layout. Behind my old layout was 21 foot by 4 foot and had 4 lanes going round, but I damaged most of it. I've not got half the flexi track I had then. I've got a few pieces behind my couch from it. So at least some of my old layout will go into new one. Yeah, it's a bit of a dilemma what I do want to do at the moment. First things first, I think I'm about due to empty my baseboards off, put all my stocking boxes and stuff, that's on the baseboards and start getting track and playing around, seeing where it goes. Seeing where it goes, seeing what I'll have to isolate, which areas, and playing gradually. I'll get there. I bet ours in. Hey, what do you think, Griffey? What do you think of the 14 double X? Is it Dapple released? Now that is cheap. For all gauge. Tell you what, I bet you're hoping they bring more stuff out in that price bracket. I'll tell you what, I looked at that 14 double X for the price that Dapple's done, and I'm tempted to get one for a mini ore gauge. That's excellent. Excellent stuff. Yeah, it's a nice little loco. It has some interest with being one of the locos on the Titfield Thunderbolt. There's some interest with that class of loco there, I'd say. Tell you what, nowadays for ore gauge, there's more for it and cheaper than it's ever been. The only gauge I don't get is TT. The TT 120. I just don't get it. I'm not saying it's not nice stuff, the TT 120. They have some nice logos and stuff, but there's a lot said about it that's bull. A lot of people are going, well, I'd have it. It's easier to work with than N-gauge. It's not that much bigger than N-gauge. They're kidding themselves. If they're getting on and they're struggling with N-gauge, they'll struggle with TT. It's a lot of bullshit saying they won't. Yeah, true. Daub over the Great Western and put a great British Railways lion. Or does it have the British Railways lion on Titfield Thunderbolt? Can't say I've noticed. I know it's a 14 double X. Thing is as well, and I'll always maintain this, that's why Hornby didn't want it in the shops. They didn't want you to compare size of it next to N-gauge. Because you'd then look at N-gauge and say, well, hang on, look at this catalogue, all the stuff I can get in N, and look what I'm limited to with TT. I reckon that's exactly why Hornby did that. And they pissed off a lot of traders doing it. It's not valleys. They've done that with other people. They're That's why I won't buy Hornby products. They've done it with Rails of Sheffield when Rails were doing their Terrier. And they did it at a show. Hornby released their Terrier at the same show as Rails did. Two trains in the cattle. The thing is, though, you're not far off wrong if you're very limited to what you can model. You're either limited to Northeast steam. There's some coming in now, LMS, but it's very limited. I don't think there's any Great Western yet. Yet the buildings, a lot of them are Great Western outline. But there's no rolling stock and Great Western low code yet. If you're modelling BR days, there's very little BR blue. I don't think there's a lot BR green in diesels. Wise. And they're some of the most popular areas to model. And this is what I really don't get with Hornby. Every single time they bring a model out, let's do another Flying Scotsman. Okay, we get it, it's great, it's a famous loco. But there's other famous locos out there. Why not do the Blue Peter? Release that one. Especially because it's just come back into steam. Yeah, it's the most Great Western in steam's one of the most modelled, and they didn't release the Great Western pannier tank. What's that about? The pannier tank must have been the biggest selling. The Great Western pannier must have been in the top 10 best-selling locos from Triang days to when they last released it in Double O. And yet, no sign of a Great Western pannier. What's that about? Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love the A3. It's a beautiful loco, but there's so many more out there. And in reality, in preservation, because of Dye Woodhams, there's more Great Western and Southern locos were saved than LNER. Like the main ones saved from the LNER were the ones that were handed over to preservationists. There's huge swathes of the LNER that weren't saved. I bet that were interesting, weren't it? Valleys. You know, I'd have loved to have gone to Dye Woodhams Yard back in the day. I caught the last few things that come out of there, last few locos that were there, got stored Cardiff's, not, is it Cardiff? Yeah, probably Cardiff. Yeah, it is Cardiff's. They were stored in Cardiff's Transport Museum or whatever it is on the shore there. I went in and I've got photos somewhere, I think, of the old steamers stored there. Fantastic. I bet that was awesome, Valleys. Yeah, it's like I said, there's vast chunks of LNER history missing in preservation. There's a lot, same as LMS. There's a lot of LMS types missing. Our local museum has just got. I've got to go down and have a look at it because I'm a member there. But the East Lancs has just got a Fowler 2.6 fuller tank, and it's in LMS black. It's a lovely looking loco. Can't fault him. The lad, to be honest, the lad worked for it. He put some graft in there because he cut up a big percentage of the wagon fleet. That's why the locos were left alone. He were too busy cutting the wagons up. Fantastic valleys. Yeah, the Fowler was a beautiful Fowler 2.6. I've got one. I've got one in the LMS Crimson Lake, an Hornby one. I'm gonna. In fact, that video might come up soon because it'll be a simple video to do. All I'm really doing on that servicing it. Because I think I may end up renumbering it. I don't know, we'll see. I'll see what happens. I've got the decals if I want to renumber it and put new LMS like letters on. I don't know. I'm 50-50 whether to keep it original because there's a little glue mark near one of the numbers. But if I remove it and remove the numbers, I may go through the paint and end up having to put paint on, and then you can't match it. If I could get rid of the glue mark and the numbers without going through the paint, I'd renumber it and re-letter it. Well, yeah, that's it, very much so, Raymond. Right? It's like pensioner cocaine. It's like pensioner cocaine, isn't it? To be fair, like we all do it. We'll all do it. Me more so with old locos for restoring. You go, oh, look at all that rust! I can do that up. Whereas you'll probably go, ooh, shiny. But yeah, they're not. That's the thing a lot of people forget. That Hornby, it's the Hornby group, and it compromises of Earthix, Scalextric, Earthix, Scalextric, Corgi, and of course Hornby. So it's a huge group, and it's not only Hornby. I think, to be honest, if you go on their own site and look at their own site, I think they have more River Rossi locomotives, and they've bought River Rossi out, amongst others, but they have more River Rossi locomotives than Hornby. If you look it up, there's more pages of River Rossi locomotives than Hornby. I'm pretty sure. and I watch people's reviews, and you think, spend some money on quality control, spend some money on, take your time releasing models, do your R&D, make them better quality, and I don't begrudge paying the prices, but I'm not paying money for cheap Chinese tap that falls to pieces. I've got better things to do with my money, especially in present financial situation. Yeah, they have the Spanish Electra trend too as well, Raymond. It's not like one of the lads has another channel. Oh, what's his name? I blocked him anyway. I had it well. I took him off my subscribed list. Put it that way. Oh, not Double O'Neill. I like Double O'Neill. Oh, what? Oh, that model railway guy. He said Hornby isn't a big company. He says there's bigger He says there's bigger companies on the continent. I said there isn't. I said Hornby owns most of it. Oh, well, we don't know what you do. They do. Anyway, he took an hissy fit, so I thought, I've no time for this. I just blocked him, just took him off my subscribers. Not that I didn't like his channel, he had some good content, but I won't put up with false representation. Because you're in a position, if you're running a channel, to give some degree of the truth. It's partly why I like Sam's Trains. He's not in any company's pockets. He buys his own models and he gives his own views on them. Sometimes he'll say Hornby's good, but a lot of the times, if Hornby's shit, he says they're shit. He holds nothing back, and the trouble is when you've got other channels that are getting sweeteners, they're getting people going on from them companies, they're getting friendly with them and everything. I've had it, and Mick knows it. Somebody from another channel is in the pockets of Earthfix. He has a big modelling channel. And he's in the pockets of Earthfix, and he says, I'm not, I give an unbiased view. And then a bit after he says, Earthfix turned round to him on a factory meeting and said, I hope you're going to give a favourable review. Sorry, that ain't an impartial review. When you're getting sweeteners off a company, you're not going to tell the full truth, let's put it that way. I know you know him, Mick, and it's baloney. Like, it's not only him, it's done in model railway world as well. Hornby's a massive selling machine, and they rely on people with YouTube channels to do it. If they can get in their pockets and get them selling stuff, and that's the problem, they'll do a review and they're in Hornby's pocket. So I'm sorry, it just isn't an impartial review. Some of the channels say, well, I don't get freebies off Hornby. I get an advanced model, and if I like it, I buy it off them. Sorry, that's favouritism. You've got the model before anyone else has. Whether you've paid for it yourself, that's factory favouritism and sweeteners. And I know about it because I have to do, with my line of work, I did it the other day, I've got another year on it. I've done bribery, and I have to do bribery and corruption course at work, and things you can get off with and things you can't get off with. Now, anything, basically, the way it runs for bribery and stuff like that, and the most you can accept as a gift is £25. That's from family or another company. Like, it's fine to accept a pen with a company logo on, or like something else. But if they're giving you locals worth 200 quid, or even though you're buying them yourself, if you're getting them before the rest of the country can, that can be considered as sweeteners. So anybody that isn't completely buying their own stuff and doesn't have links, well, let's put it this way, the only people I listen to with reviews is if they've bought it fully out of their own money and they have no links to the factory. Because you can't get an unbiased review to me. Yeah, and that can be considered as sweeteners, valleys, depending on price. It's a tricky one sometimes, but definitely 200 quid locals before anyone else can get them. Even though you've paid for it yourself, they're still offering it you before anyone else can get it. So yeah, it's a minefield, to be honest. It took me a bit to go through coursework anyway. Yeah, fair enough, Raymond. But J Local, I was blunt with her. She may be a nice woman, I don't know. But being honest, she doesn't have much of a draw for me. Like, I can see why she's got so many subscribers. It's guys and they're, oh, that's a nice looking woman. I'll watch her channel. She's like kind to the eye and stuff. I understand it, but if you look at it, what actual model railway content is there on the channel? And I'm not saying anything I haven't said to her. I've said it to her. I said you've not really got any model railway content on your channel. Like I say, I've said she goes out and about as well sometimes, doesn't she? To like preserved railways. Don't get me wrong, she's probably a lovely woman. But I just can't take to her as a channel. There's a few I can't. As you go on, you realise people. We discussed it the other night. I go on a site called DMC, Diecast Modelers and Community, and we were discussing what actually gets you views and builds your views up on YouTube. And we came up with a few things. One, the obvious thing, you've to have a personality that a lot of people take to. Now, sometimes I'm an acquired taste because I'm blunt, and there's a lot of people who don't like that shit nowadays. I'm not really interested because I'm not here to have huge amounts of subscribers. I'm doing it for my own hobby, and if I can help people along the way, and I'm doing it to relax from the shit I get up to in my daily work life. I do 13-hour days, and if I do two 13-hour days in a row, by the time I've finished them, I've said to Mick, you've worked 26 hours in 2 days, so you've done over a full day in 2 days. And my first day off, and sometimes I only have 1 day off, I spend most of it in bed. But that's it. Your first thing, it's a personality thing. Then there's others, and I'm not just talking model railways. I'm talking other channels, not particularly die-cast cars. I'm not seeing much evidence on there, but I've seen it on other ones. Because I have motorcycle channels. There's a woman on one of them, and she does motorcycles, repairing them in skimpy tops. And she's not a young bird. She's I'd say in her 50s, and they're swinging everywhere. And sometimes it's thin cotton, so you can see the inevitable peanut smuggling. And I won't name names, but there's one channel that uses the same on model railways. And I've had disputes with them. I'm not falling out with over it or anything, but people know. You know, it's like the old adage, isn't it? Sex sells. And I'm old enough and wise enough to realise that. I'm not wearing a crop top for subs, Andy. I'm bad enough on DMC on the Friday nights, having doing me nipple flashing. You don't want to say that. You need a lot of therapy. Yeah, exactly, Raymond. You do expect a lot out of a local that costs that much. And the first thing is quality, and a lot of it isn't quality. One Hornby's Stania Pacific, the Duchess. I think it was the City of London. One guy on YouTube, he was a terrible model. Parts fell out off it in the box. There were glue all over it, and he sent it back, and they sent back a replacement. The same parts fell off. There was still glue on it, and he said, "Oh, I'll just fix it myself and remedy the glue myself." But you're paying 200-300 quid. It's not cheap. Hey, I'll tell you now, I have a laugh with one of the girls at work because I had a pair of unsightly. I called them my Daisy Duke shorts. She says she's still mentally scarred now. She gave me a lift home while I was wearing them. And she said I got out of the car and all she could see were my butt cheeks. And she goes, "Whoa, I can see your butt cheeks." And I went, "Oh dear, I've dropped my pencil." And you just heard her go, bent over, and she went, "Ah!" So she's mentally scarred for life, bless her. Hey Mick, if you ain't seen nothing if you worked with me like some of the women have and some of the stuff I've pulled, be unreal. Tell you every day, I mean, I'm amazed I'm never in HR. Because every day at some point I go, well, that's another thought that come out into the world. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I'm not adverse to paying £50 for a new O4 or a new tooling. But come on, Armby's been using that O4O for over 50 years. Well, no, for that, but no, 50 years, it's about mid-70s. The Oldham were out in the mid-70s. So that casting, all the Smoky Joeys that were brought out in the early 80s, and it went on the Holden's chassis. And every other one after, they've used the original Holden chassis. And come on, even the Pug, that now the body, even that's a 40-odd-year-old casting. And they're still charging premium prices for it. Oh, Vallis, I do it every day. The amount of times my boss has walked past me and gone, Paul, will you stop swearing at work? Because I think nothing of being on corridor, and if I'm surprised, I'll go, motherfucker. Or I'll say, what the fuck? My boss is packing in swearing constantly. And what were it somebody said the other day? One of the girls, oh, that were it. The nurse was having a word with one of the girls about watching penises. And I turned round to her and said, it's all right, I can go to the toilet and give you a crash course. The nurse just went, Paul, knock it off. Like, joys of working in an house. She's a woman though. She didn't without even batting an eyelid. She turned round and said, I've probably had older more than you have. And that's a big it's a big problem with today, Raymond. There's a big percentage nowadays who thinks their opinion is the only one that matters. It's like a lot of channels, you'll go on and have an opposite opinion of something, and they, oh, well, no, I'm not. I don't buy a one-sided opinion. To me, a one-sided opinion, we may as well be fascists. That's what you go into. If you want an opinion but don't want others to have theirs, you're a fascist. No matter what it's in, you're a fascist because you think there's only your view that matters. you're not prepared to discuss other views. But yeah, there's a lot of them on model railway. Not so, I was thinking the other night, and I said it to one guy. I have my own page on Facebook for scale model motorcycles, if anybody wanted to go in and have a look. And to be fair, I just pop in I won't have moderators, because I've been on channels that were running fine, and then moderators stop stomping, and they cause problems where there aren't any. They want their views rather than anybody else's. So I won't have, because I consider myself pretty fair. As long as there's nobody in my group is abusing other people, directly rude to other people, and that's it. I can't see any problem with heated arguments as long as it's not calling names and having their own views. And, I forget how many years my group's been running, I've not had a single problem I've had to sort out, and I've got 6,000 members. And I've not had to sort, is it 6,000 or 3? It's in the thousands, maybe 3,000, I may have exaggerated. But I've not had to kick anybody off. Well, I tell a lie, I have done, but who I've kicked off, they've come in trying to sell stuff for companies. And I don't mind individuals selling off their own models. I tell them, I'm blunt with them, look, if you want to sell models, it's up to the two parties. I'm not involved, it's your business. I said, I'm not a third party between you. You do the deal between yourselves. Because some people come on and they're selling their stash off, and there's some good models in there, and running a modelling page that directly caters towards motorcycles. And these people have fantastic historic kits in and really good kits. I'd be doing a disservice to my members if I said no, they couldn't. And I've just said, sort it out between yourselves, private message each other, sort out PayPal to pay for it. Whatever you want to do, just don't involve me. You're adult enough to sort out your own stuff. I don't give a shit if my opinion offends you, Mick. You know that by now. I'm too big and ugly to be upset by being offending people. People try at work to offend me. They forgot I'm ex-military. I work in... Yeah, I'm ex-military. I've worked in jobs on streets, patrolling where they've threatened kick me head in, and they think I'm threatened by internet threats. Some of them need to grow up. Jessica, keep your ice on the stick, dude. Hang on, wait a minute. Stick on the ice. Sorry. How is it in sunny Canada? Canada. Oh, you've missed all sorts of shit, Jessica. just me putting the shit to rights and stuff. Oh, some of the people you meet on it, you think, do you have a Walkman with a cassette on a loop saying breathe in, breathe out, breathe in? Some of them, they're bordering on morons. Well, some had sorts of morons. I'll tell you something, Andy. Don't take peanuts for them. They're getting scarcer and scarcer to get hold of. That's true, Valleys. Come by here, my lord, come by here. Brilliant. I love seeing your wit. I'm doing a couple of die casts at the moment, cheer you up a bit. Jessica, I've just done one. There's one just recently been put up. I've put a custom up on my Pimp My Diecast channel. Yeah, especially, they've obviously not met me. Because I mean, the last fight I had, I'm very passive and I'm chilled. But there were this lad, he were pushing and pushing for a fight. I want to fight you, I want to fight you. And I'm like that, why do I want to fight you? You're done now. And he's, I want to fight you, I want to fight you. And anyway, eventually I said, look, if you want to fight me, throw the first punch. I said, but I'm telling you, it'll be the last one you get. And he was stupid enough to do it. And it was the last one he got. He ain't got patience for none of that shit. I just go in hard and want it over as quickly as possible. So believe me, if you hit me once, make sure it's hard enough to put me down or you're going down. Well, the shit bus designs we have here now, Valleys, you can't get far enough away from them. We've got about 10 seats now. They've give 3/4 of the lower deck over to disableds. There's only about 2 or 3 get on. Oh, Jesus. They were taking the piss, Andy. Anything old and British, and in one piece, you're talking thousands now. If it has Triumph on it, the old original Triumphs, silly, silly money. Partly restored, even partly restored. A lot of the work's done for you, so they're worth money. Well, I'll tell you something, Jessica. I can't run nowadays, so you can guarantee I'm going to stand still and hit you. And I won't be gentle about it. And I'm a Manchester lad. There's more than a fair chance it'll be with a 3x2 beam. I haven't seen that one yet, Raymond. Oh, sometimes I watch Russian dash cams, and it's hilarious if only for the comments in Russian after. I don't understand half of it, but a car will fly in front of them and will go, Stravskanovsky, or whatever, I don't know. I might have swore in Russian there. Oh my God, Vincent. Even bantams are fetching money now. Hey, listen, I'd be prepared for an hell of a fight with anybody from a country that plays ice hockey. I used to watch them as a kid. It's not as popular now on telly, but we used to get ice hockey a lot on telly when I was a kid. From Canada, etc. And geez, them guys. Oh, geez, they're taking the piss. 500 quid the lot, yeah. And I bet he'd be out selling them 10 minutes after. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Mick. Good catching you. Nice catching up and catch you during week. Yeah, anything British now and it has zeros behind it. I'll try my best, Mick, but I'm in work tomorrow and that won't pan out. But I'll try, you know. Yeah, but British bikes now, if you're getting a few for 500 quid, even for a cheap Japanese one, a classic Japanese one now, for one of the more sought after models, even one for restoring, you're paying more than 500. If you want a Kawasaki KH250 triple, say, a barn find restoration will set you back about 750, 1,000 just on its own. In fact, probably more now. Because British bikes, they're desirable. I'll tell you what, that arsehole knew what he was doing. Tell you what, there's some arseholes that'll try it on. And the thing that pisses me off more, it was probably someone he ripped off that could have done with the money. Yeah, I bet he did, Andy. Oh, God, there's a hell of a lot of profit on those. Yeah, Vinny. Yeah, Vincent's are worth thousands, even in crates. I don't know what happened to my mate's bike. A mate that passed away recently. But he had a Triumph Tiger 750 in boxes. He weren't in boxes when he bought it. He had his fun up with it for a few years. But yeah, the British bikes now, the classic original stuff, you have to sell a kidney for them. And that arsehole knew it. Beautiful, beautiful valleys. Don't get me wrong, but I like British bikes to look at, but I wouldn't. I've never had the desire to own one. I preferred classic Japanese and dare I swear, my lifelong dream. I've never had it. I may ask my mate if I can ride his Sportster so I can tick it off the bucket list. But I always wanted an Harley Sportster before I passed. I don't think I'm going to do it now, but I might ask my buddy if I can have a go with his. He's got a 1200 Sportster. Oh, beautiful. I've only ever seen one of them on the roads, valleys. A Motor Marine 3.5. Nice little bike. But I've only seen one of them. I saw it when I had a ride over to Lynn in Cheshire. Yeah, Raymond, Vespers are all right if you like to feel the wind whistle through your vagina. I believe they're very popular with the homosexual community. No, I wind them up. I quite like the Vespa scene myself. I wouldn't have one, but I love the murals and everything they do on them. There's some fantastic artwork on them and some fantastic customs. Just not for me. Yeah, it's a shame when you get people take the piss when someone's passed away. I dare say all my gear will go for a fraction of what it's worth because people will get hold of it that don't know what it's worth. Because I'm single and I've no plans to get anyone, so I'll probably snuff it and it'll go on to someone that's not a clue. I mean, I've got boxes and boxes of dinkies and corgis, and you look at what they're selling for now. I bought most of them when they were going for nothing. Like, I've got stuff like that. Whoops. Corgi MGC. I've got the MGB there. See if there's one anywhere I've restored. No, okay, I put all my restored corgis in a cabinet in other room. Corgis and dinkies. Yeah, they're a cheap little thing. And I dare say they're a fun little thing. You won't get me on one, but they're a fun little thing. I do love the customs. Yeah, because I didn't try an actual Vespa, but I had a go on. Oh, what were they called? It was one of the little Honda scooters and small wheels and the size of it. And no, it wasn't for me. I thought, thank God I'm on a proper bike when I got back on an Honda 250. Yeah, that's what I'd do. Cool, that's... So you've made provisions, Ed, really, haven't you, Valleys? Yeah, I say I'm very old school. I was brought up with old school bikers and when it were the mods and rockers. And believe it or not, I've hung around with a lot of the a lot of the scooter lads, and I have good friends in them, but you won't get me on one. I wouldn't lower myself. Don't get like I say, I do like. I love the custom scene because I used to go to custom shows in the 80s and stuff, and some of the murals. I'm into doing murals and stuff myself because I'm an artist. I'm gonna start doing more airbrush art. I'm thinking of doing some skulls and that, but I'm learning what all the a lot of the paints I get now. If you saw me over on my diecast channel, I use American stuff, Createx. You get like 60 mil for a tenner. I don't piss around with Umbral anymore. What's Umbral? 17 mil in a 10. I've got 60 there, 40. It's cheaper. And they do just as big a range, and they do candies. That's a transparent. Hang on. Which means if you're airbrushing, you can airbrush it on, and on white you'll get the colour. But say you have a drawing underneath, or you have black parts underneath, you can see them through it. It's for airbrushing specifically, that. And then you have this one. That's detail yellow, it's called. Now, detail, that is for picking out details and stuff with your airbrushing detail. And then you have, where is it? Candy, which is, that's a transparent ink. Candy, where is it? Should show it. Candy 2.0. That's a transparent ink, so you can spray a silver base And then you can put cosmic sparkles in that, and you can do a picture on top of sparkles or graphics on top of sparkles, then you lacquer over it. Really, that's automotive paint, that, but you can use it on models because it won't damage plastic. If you use an acrylic lacquer with that, it won't damage plastic. So you can use it on model car kits for doing customs and stuff. DT80 MX. I had a DT50 MX. Yeah, I had to do with a Suzuki X7. I never got on an RD250 LC. But the X7 had punched its front wheel up in her. Easy enough. I got told off for doing it down back streets at motorbike shop. The boss, I used to work there helping me bait out. He come out and said, I'm trying to sell that. Jack it in, wheeling it down back street. Yeah, you can. Same sort of thing, Raymond. You can use 40-30 balancing clear. And that makes it like an automotive paint. It makes it tougher and bond better, the 40-30. You can put that 40-30 with artist acrylics, I'd reckon, and use them as a automotive paint. Because I've got artists. Which artist's acrylics do you use, Raymond? I've moved mine now. Are they in front room? They might be here. Yeah, they're here. I've got all mine in. You know them chest of drawers up here? I've got all my artist oils and artist acrylics. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've got the. I'll just have a look. Just give me a minute, Raymond. I'll just hop up and have a look. Oh. Yeah, I said that, Raymond, and you'll be amazed at the quality difference. I use the full-on artists acrylics, and if you're using them for model railways for back scenes and that, no, you don't need it. But if you're getting into proper portraiture and proper, like, realism work, I use an Australian brand, Atelier Interactive, and once you get on to, well, you know they sell pigments as use. That's in cheaper variants, the students. Like, if you have cadmium, say cadmium as an example, pure cadmium, that's an artist colour. And for these tubes, you're getting into 20 and 30 quid for them tubes for a cadmium. But if you buy a U, which is a similar colour but It's not the really good pigment. It's a bit cheaper, quite a bit cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. Well, that's the difference between a U and a proper cadmium. There's a big difference, one yet. I had to adjust some of my painting techniques. But I've only got one of my paintings here, and that's not really finished. But hang on. Not really finished, but it's getting there. But yeah, that's about 3/4 done. There's still a lot of areas I'm not happy today. Yeah, there's so many things. I'm doing a series on paint, Raymond, but first one's not been that successful. But I intend doing a series on paint and painting, and I use anything. To be honest, if I'm not doing a painting like top class and I'm not working for somebody else, I very much have a view of you can buy. I've noticed with Rowney and Winsor and Newton, you can buy sap green off Rowney and you can buy sap green off Winsor and Newton, and they both have slightly different ideas of what that colour should be, and they'll both perform different. Like the same colour in another range can compare totally, can perform totally different to that colour in another range. It's weird. The things I've found out over the years. Like that one's blue, black, indigo. But you can make your own black out of brown and blue. And you can mix it towards the blue end or mix it towards the brown end. So you can have a cool black or a warm black. It's not one of my better ones, Andy, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's getting there. I've got to do one, and I want to do another railway one. I want to do around Manchester, Victoria in the 80s. So I want to do rail blue and some of the buildings at Victoria in the background, like Threll Falls Brewery and stuff. But yeah, as far as modelling goes, there's so many things you can use for some weathering. It's never ending. Everybody does their own ideas on weathering. And I chop and change ideas. If you watch Bunter's Yard, he chops and changes ideas. Like weatherings, you're constantly trying something all the time, and none of it's particularly wrong if you get the effect you're after. The trouble is, though, there's not just one way of achieving that effect. With weathering, there's multiple ways you can achieve one effect. Like at the moment, I want to do a flat wagon, and I want to do airbrushing wood effects. Oh Jesus, let's move them move some spray cans from in front of radiator. I've got radiator on. Don't want them fucking blowing up and going in work glossy tomorrow. But yeah, where are they? It's down here somewhere. There we go. I've got flatback wagons like Lomax and stuff. And I've got that set to paint wood effects on the deck. To do weathered wood on the decks. Because I won't be just paint on one colour. Paint on one colour and hope you don't notice. Right, fellas, I'm having 10 minutes now. And then once we hit 10, I'm calling it a night and going getting a bath. But we've got a final 10 minutes. Catch up on it. It's been good again, entertaining night. Yeah, I've got loads of artist oils. Artist oils are good, but again, that way oil paints for modelling, they'll charge modeller's price, but I bet they're only giving you cheap oils. I bet they're only giving you the quality of oils that you'd buy like one of the cheap artist shops. Can't think of the name at the moment. Or the Printworks or whatever it's called. Yeah, they won't be giving you hugely expensive stuff. Reference photos are invaluable. I've seen people in the die-cast community, Valis, and without a word of a lie, because a big thing at the moment is like patina cars with all the rust on bodyworks. Without a word of a lie, I've seen somebody do a Corvette with rust all over the body. And I got in contact with him. I said, you do know, don't you? You do realise. He was a New Zealand lad. I said, you do realise a lot of Americans tune into this and they'll be on your case straight away. Spot on, Valleys. All Corvettes are fiberglass bodies. You're spot on, Andy. And why that should be, I don't know. They do reckon there's less printer ink in the ones you get with your new printer. But what I've done in the past, they don't recommend you do it. But to make it last a bit longer, I've drilled the cartridges and bought the inks to refill the cartridges. Like I said, they don't recommend you doing it, but I've done it, and eventually it does block up your printer. But I'll tell you something, if you've saved the cost of 5 sets, well, no, if you've saved the cost of 2 sets of genuine inks, you can buy another printer after. And why that is, I don't know, because it's such a wasteful turn of events. And these people are trying to make you go green. But I've always, I'll fill the cartridges up about 2 or 3 times, then bin the printer and buy a new printer. Because it's cheaper to do that than buy genuine inks. Printer ink is like, they sell it like it's gold dust. It's a scandal. Yeah, I've found that mine have always got past it, but it is a scam. It's wrong. They're wrong uns. We used to do it with, well, I say our compressors, our compressors weren't cheap because they were like, when I used to work engineering, they were like the Mercedes-Benz of compressors. But they sold them reasonably cheaply. Under the proviso, we give them a 10-year warranty, providing they were serviced by us. Then we made our money back with Spurs. But we used to have oil filters on them. And I'm not lying. I went out to Man Trucks and I bought a box full of filters, oil filters. And I went round with a rag and thinners on it, wiped off the Man logo, and they stamped our part numbers on it. So all it was were a man filter, and then we charged our price for it. Say you got it for a £5, you resold it for 50 quid because it were a specialist compressor oil filter. I know it's done because I've done it. Hey, no, if mate, valleys, I'm more than happy to help my friends out like that. If I can help friends out, I'll help friends out. It's not. This is the problem. It's not. Shouldn't even be considered. Shouldn't even be considered naughty. That's what a community's for. Yeah, see, this is my argument, Andy. How can that be green in a green world? They're moaning about plastic waste and everything. Binning a full, perfectly good printer because the inks are too dear. But a full printer and inks are 10 quid cheaper than you'd have paid for your inks. What's that all about? I think they should have somebody onto it. But it's a modern world. They think it's green for some odd reason. I don't know. It's like when because I worked engineering, and at one time I worked as a school caretaker, and I had a gardening business at weekend on the side. And one day I had a young lad that was my mate's young lad helped me, and we went to B&Q to buy. His dad wanted a chainsaw, and we were going to use it. So we went looking at chainsaws, and I looked at an Husqvarna, and it were about 300, 400 quid, something like that for an Husky. in B&Q, and then I looked across at their own brand. It were about 150 quid, I think it were. And I took a good look at them. And you know something, every single part, every single casting was made in the same factory and had come out of the same moulds and from the same engineering. It even had this same stamping. And I looked for inconsistencies like chips from the casting mould, and the same scratches and chips were in inaccessible corners. The only difference, and this is the way shops get about it, they say, yeah, but that's an Husqvarna, that's green, and that's our own brand, that's orange. But it's the exact same chainsaw. Yeah, no, but that's Husqvarna and it's green, and this is our own and it's orange. Well, you'd be a lunatic to buy the Husqvarna then. They do, but like I say, all the Chinese stuff, it's cheap shit and built-in redundancy. Like I say about Hornby, it ain't made to last you. You can forget that idea. The first time you have to service one of these new locos, look at this one they're doing now, the locomotion. First time you need to do any cleaning or servicing on that, you're going to break that gear on it. Have you seen all the gear at the top? And what do you do to service it? You turn it upside down in a crate. You're going to smash the gear off at the top on that. How the hell do you work on that thing? It'll need, I'm not lying. That locomotion will need somebody with the equivalent of watchmaking skills to work on it. That the average man isn't going to repair that at home. You're going to have a damn steady hand, a damn good eye, and some of the right tools like the right bench to put it in. No denying, you know, fellas, I think if they get that right, it's going to be a beautiful model, but I'll guarantee you'll break it when you need to service it. 100%. How are you going to turn it upside down to service it with all that valve gear at top? And it's working valve gear and minute stuff. I've no doubts at all it's impressive. I never repair mine, Andy. Soon as my computers start going wrong, I've been home and get another. Mainly because one of the only places you can go now in the high street is PC World, Curry's. You want to buy a computer and they do not want you to take that computer out of the stall, out of the store without them getting hold of it and doing everything they want to do on it. And I told them, I said, look, I just want that computer in that box. I want to take it now and I don't want you lot touching it. I don't want your warranty. I don't want anything. Oh, well, you can't do that. Listen, mate, I'm buying it. I can do what I want. I can either take it or you can keep it on your shelf. I said, I'll buy it for that price, but I'm taking it and you're not touching it. I said, I don't want any of your shit on it. I don't want any of your servicing. I don't want any of your care, any of your extended warranties. I just want a computer and I'm taking it. I said, if you don't want to do that deal, you can shove it up your ass and I'll find somewhere else. Yeah. That's it. The thing is now, they deliberately change all the online programs and everything. So if you're running old programs, they won't run with the new. So if you have, it's as much to upgrade your computer as to buy another. With all your software and everything, it gets silly. Yeah. Well, Valleys, that's why I don't have a TV anymore. They can come round here if they want, because I've got an old analogue TV, but I don't have a digibox. So the wording is live TV, and I can't get live TV, so they can sit and spin. I refuse to pay a TV licence. I've not paid it since they robbed it off pensioners. They're dirty. And besides which, the BBC are dirty, filthy, despicable scum. And not only that, they don't have anything worth watching anymore anyway. They've lost all the good programming. Yeah, they will. Yeah, me neither. I've not had one for quite a while now. Valleys, there's no, but you're paying money into BBC, and there's nothing on the BBC worth watching. I don't want to watch repeat after repeat of Holmes Under the Hammer, Strictly Come Dancing, shit like the Eurovision they had on last night. Where I used to watch it when it was fair, but we'll never win that. It's political now. It's not a song contest anymore. Terry Wogan had it right. It's a politics contest. Terry Wogan said every year, and he predicted it spot on, who was going to vote for who. I'll tell you what, all mine's guilt porn. I've always preferred older women. Only trouble is, nowadays, there's not many of them left. I'm running out of options. And some of them now you think, oh no. Blokes are blokes. We all look at porn. Anybody that doesn't's lying. I look. It's just that I'm weird. I look at older women. Everything's out there to behold. And I'm not interested unless it's over 45. Yeah, some of it. I'll tell you what, some of the bloody young stuff, that's on some of the bloody allegedly most responsible people in the community. I reckon there's still a lot at BBC. They're in the police. I reckon they're in government. Yeah, Andy, we've all been there. The old fellas that used to leave edge palm for you. Oh, that used to be funny. They used to hide it under bushes so the young lads would find it. Whoa, that's what one's like. Happy days, funny. Like I say, this generation, it's a changed generation. Now, I love that term, grumble mags. Always makes me chuckle, that Valleys. Grumble mags. Yeah, the BBC has a lot to answer. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's still some there. They're either thinking, phew, that was a close call, or when are they coming again? I wouldn't trust any of them. You know the inventive names for it, Valleys. Where are you looking at it, Raymond? Because some of the ones I've seen, it's the women torturing the blokes. I'll tell you what, gentler sex my ass. And Germany. And Sweden. No. What was it they said in Family Guy, Stuart and Brian? They always make me laugh, Stuart. If any of you have watched Family Guy, Stuart and Brian, they were talking about German porn, and they looked at something and went, "What is wrong with you people?" The internet's a weird place. Jesus, Valleys. I think I might have seen a bit of that, and it's actually made, because he screams, it's actually mated into Bon Jovi's "Oh, we're halfway there," and it goes to that clip when he's kicked in the nads, and he goes, "Whoa, living on a prayer." You know the scary thing I find, Andy? You look at places like bloody Philippines and Thailand and everything, and they get ladyboys and they're very convincing. Then you come over here and it's Derek the Builder in a frock. They're not even convincing us with. Best one I did, Raymond, Andy, I were in a pub one night and we'd had a few, and I'd copped this one. There was a transition in there, and you were in a white dress and everything. And me mate were at bar, he were pissed. And he said, "Have you just been past that bird in white dress?" I said, "Yeah," I said, "I reckon she's up for it, you know." And he goes, "Is she?" I said, "Yeah, buy her half a lager and go and have a chat, lad." So he buys half a lager, you see him walk over, all cocky, he sits down to talk. He has about 2 minutes sat there, then he gets up and walks away with both lagers. And he comes back and looks at me and goes, "Twat." I said, "Well, come on, mate, it's not my fault. I thought you'd have done some looking yourself before you shot in there." Yeah, oh, he was proper pissed. And me and my mate Gav, we were in hysterics. He said, "Me mate Gav," he goes, "He hasn't, has he?" I said, "He has." He did. Oh, he has. Yeah, he definitely has. Anyway, gentlemen, I've got 10 minutes. I've gone 10 minutes over now. We've done 2 hours 18. It's been a privilege, but I'm going checking my laundry. That's not a euphemism for something. I'm going checking my laundry and I'm filling the bath and getting ready for work tomorrow. And I'm in work next week, so I won't catch you. So stay tuned. I'll probably put a video up this week. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll put a video up, and all I'll say is, tatty pie, people. Tatty pie. Raymond, well done. Night all. Been pleasure. Been a pleasure all. Been another good evening. Catch you again. Hang on. Where do I? There we go. Oh God. I'll tell you what, there's not many that are convincing, but when they are, it's easy done. Like I say, most of them look like Bob the Builder in a dress. Oh, don't start me with that. I've been learning that on guitar. Hello, well, hello, la, 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 la. Yeah, I've been learning that on guitar. Met her in a bar down in Old Soho. Anyway, good night. Tatty pie. Take it easy, guys.